Tana Mongeau. The vast majority of people in this part of the community had no clue who she was until this week. She mostly made such quality content as peeing on Shane Dawson.
Is it warm?
A man who is 10 years her senior, by the way. Telling you weird words for vagina.
My hoo-ha, my kuka, my cooch, penis, vagina, dick, pussy.
And also her first time smoking weed.
I literally see my life flash before my eyes.
2016, first time smoking weed. Really showing your age there, Tana. Personally, I know her from this gem.
He fucked me with a toothbrush.
Took me 13 minutes to find that clip. You know how excruciating that 13 minutes was? This young woman somehow managed to take all of the crazy negative attention Onision was getting and redirect it to her and then some. Left and right, there are videos calling her out on anything from her hypocrisy to her stupidity, and both of those are perfectly valid. For the three of you living under a rock, Ms. Mongeau was verbally assaulted when everyone's favorite cancer patient, iDubbbzTV, came up to her and told her to say nigger. In response, she made a 26-minute video crying and talking about how offended and attacked she felt. Now, a lot of people called her out because she said this word herself. I did.
And so the guy looks at me and he wraps his arm around me and he looks in the camera and he goes, say nigger.
And on top of hypocrisy, the video is filled with a good amount of just plain old stupidity.
There are still people that were once slaves that are still alive. You can Google it, they're 90 or something, but I mean.
The last former American slave was named Sylvester McGee and died in 1971, Tana. I Googled that. They're all dead, and not, as you so eloquently put it, 90 or something.
They're 90 or something.
But it isn't Tana's hypocrisy nor her stupidity that angers me in this video. Honestly, I mostly just find those funny. It's how much she embellishes this story that really got under my skin.
I just don't want people to think I'm over dramatic.
They do. Some of you may remember last year when Christina Grimmie, a successful singer who first found popularity on YouTube, was shot and killed in a murder-suicide in front of many of her fans after a concert. This happened in Orlando a mere day before the Pulse nightclub shooting, which remains the deadliest mass shooting in US history, so it was quickly overshadowed and to many forgotten. But when this happened, Onision, not surprised to see you here, God bless, tweeted out a whole load of shit about how people who were upset about Grimmie's death were either stupid or fake, something along those lines, and then later ended up apologizing for it, kind of, in that he apologized for when he said it, not for what he said. Even if the apology had been sincere, it wouldn't have really mattered. The damage was already done. He got crucified for a week or so, and then everyone forgot, because this is the internet. But Tana here has done something I would argue is even worse than what Onision did. Onision is a complete dick. No one's ever going to debate that. His post was completely unnecessary. It was insensitive. It was just cruel. But Tana has done something else. Tana has compared how she felt during this brief moment to a violent murder-suicide. Think about how offensive that must be, not only to Christina Grimmie's fans, her friends, her family, but to anybody who's experienced anything like this, to someone who's witnessed a murder or a violent crime against someone they loved. How would you feel hearing this? If you really want to stretch the meaning of the word assault, Tana was assaulted with language. Christina was assaulted with a fully loaded handgun. You can't start a sentence saying, I don't even mean to bring up blank, and then talk about blank as though it's a comparison.
I don't even mean to like bring up Christina Grimmie.
Now this goes for less than a minute of the video, but I think it speaks more to Tana's character than just about anything else she says.
I can't help but think of the situation also in a scary way like that, I don't know.
Her ability to compare these two things, to put them in the same ballpark, either shows an immense lack of self-awareness or an immense lack of empathy, which she's shown herself to be good at faking. She effortlessly plays to her young and impressionable fanbase's weak side by calling them her family and slyly mentioning that she thinks that
we all in this family think in a very similar mindset. I feel like we are all on the same page.
It makes it worse that her fans are so loyal to her that they're just bombing anybody who has any dissenting opinion. Tana's an inspiration. How dare you insult her? She was attacked. She was attacked and she inspires me. I too want to pee on 30-year-old men and smoke weed. Hey, we got a great generation to look forward to, don't we? She made this video looking for a circle jerk. I would know. I'm in one. She wanted validation from all the subscribers who view her as a god, and she got just that, until this expanded beyond her. She went on YouNow to cry about all the hate she got, and I have to assume it all came from either fans of iDubbbz or, I hope, people over the age of 16 who can think clearly.
I never understood how people would feel in moments like that where you were scared for your life, for other people's lives, and I may sound really, really melodramatic.
This is a very important lesson for anyone who wants to be a YouTuber. Self-awareness does not work as a permanent get-out-of-jail-free card. It works as a temporary one at best. It'll come back to bite you if you're not careful. If you just keep saying, my content's shit to deflect criticism, you're gonna get people going, wait, their content is shit. And I would argue that makes you worse because you're content with the fact that you're making content that's not up to par. So for Tana to say she doesn't want to be over dramatic and then immediately follow up with the fact that she feared for not only her life,
your life,
but for other people's lives, over someone uttering 2 syllables is absurd. Are they offensive syllables? Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. And if she had just said she was offended or upset, I don't think too many people would be angry at this video. But it's all of the embellishing, all of this over dramatization that just makes this 1,000 times worse. Now, I haven't seen the full footage of the event, but she says here that when she tried to move away,
the first time I tried to, like, he didn't like let go. And that's where my brain instinct is like, okay, does he have a gun? Does he have a knife?
What? Based on the very small clip we have from this event, I really don't understand how he could even hold you in place. Like, a gentle step forward should do the trick here. But let's assume he was holding onto her tight and she couldn't break free. She's really gonna jump straight to thinking he has a knife or a gun? I mean, I can understand the paranoia to a degree, I guess, but that's a bit of a leap, isn't it? You know, actually, come to think of it, no, I'm gonna give her this point. Because she probably realized when she couldn't break free from this bodybuilder's grasp that she'd interacted with this man before. She had told him to kill himself mere months ago. I take that point back because you probably just thought you were encountering Lady Karma in the form of a weird skeletal hipster man, and that she had come to take you away from all of your impressionable fans who you regularly talk about drugs, underage alcohol, and sex with. That was probably it.
Looking at me like with the creepiest, most terrifying smile.
Yeah, I can give her this one too, I think.
Like, he's like enraged. What is he gonna do? What is he capable of? Is he gonna hurt somebody I love?
Okay, so let's compare her description of Ian's behavior when getting kicked out to what most likely happened in the real world.
Like, he's like enraged. Like, he's like enraged.
We got 15 minutes left of this shit. Strap in.
Before people leave comments about white privilege not being real, if you're uneducated, I would love to educate you.
The same woman who tells me slaves are still alive is now gonna educate me on white privilege. You can't make this up. Like, people can't write this stupid. There are not characters that exist that think this way. Oh, there are still slaves alive, but let me teach you about white privilege.
Having a president that doesn't advocate for equality,
Whoa. Okay, tug on the reins, sister. You are way out of your depth. She keeps going on about that. I'm not touching any of it. It's like hate crimes still happen, which, yeah, that has nothing to do with Trump. I'm just gonna leave this alone. I feel like the stupidity should speak for itself.
You young people, including me, are the voice of the future.
You know, I think I was too harsh on people after the election. We are fucked. We're fucked. Shia LaBeouf was totally right. We are absolutely, we're in some serious trouble. But not because of Trump's election. No, not because of Trump's election, because people like Tana Mongeau are the voice of the future. People like Tana Mongeau
With a toothbrush!
are the voice of the future. I'm sorry, but that is scarier than anything that has ever come out of Donald Trump's mouth. Or maybe more accurately, anything that's come out of Hillary's. She keeps implying that this is some new thing that's only happened since Trump became president, or will only get worse because Trump's president. But you guys realize that race tensions are at an all-time high, and we've had a black president for the last 8 years. There's a good message buried in here somewhere, much like there's a good movie buried in Fantastic Four somewhere. It's there. You can see it, trying to crack through the surface, but it never quite just nails it home. She keeps trying to make herself look sympathetic when she has been racist in the past. That is a fact. She claims to have not known what the word meant until she was 17, which I struggle to believe, but she says it's because of where she lived. She grew up in the Vegas area, apparently, and I guess the word was just sort of thrown around like silly putty.
Growing up living in Vegas, people would say it and still say it all the time.
I've been to Vegas before, never lived there, but during my tenure, I didn't notice any increases in racial slurs. So for those of you who are from the area, I'd really like some insight in the comments if you don't mind telling me if this word's just kind of thrown around all over the place. I've never heard it, but I could be wrong here. But if you want to give her benefit of the doubt, she immediately makes sure you can't.
For years of my life, thought that it literally meant just like homie.
I don't know what to say other than just no. Like, no, that's not true. And you know it.
Homie.
This clip, this usage.
You fucking nigger!
You're not saying that meaning, homie. That is not a friendly greeting.
Nigger!
That's so far from friendly. That's very hateful. and spiteful. Not to mention there's this tweet she replied to, which clearly indicates that it refers to black people, and then she deleted the reply I have screenshotted here. Kinda screams guilty. No? Just own it, Tana. Really, just own it.
And with him running our country.
Okay, so there's about 5 minutes left, and there's not much else of substance. She rambles about PewDiePie for a few minutes, who you may have remembered a couple weeks ago said 18 nigga, and got like 5 minutes of backlash for it.
My presence in all of this is nothing.
Except it is. It's everything in this situation. Making a video on this subject is one thing, and having used this incident with iDubbbz would actually be a very fair Kickstarter to it. I really want to give her credit, I do. I get where she's coming from. But with a mixture of lying, being hypocritical, being outright just fucking stupid, trying to tell people to do their research when she can't do it herself, all of these things come together to make what is probably the most flawed video I've ever seen. Tana Mongeau is not a victim, and as much as in this video she pretends to say that she doesn't think she is, she does. Just look at her Twitter. It's all over the place. Did iDubbbz do something offensive? Absolutely. Is this response to it awful? Absolutely. I would argue this response is more offensive than iDubbbz's action. To compare someone saying a word to fuck with you to someone being murdered in front of various people who love her, including her brother, that's worse. So I don't really think I have any conclusion to this video.
I don't really know how to end it.
I'm just gonna say that 4 times before the video ends.
I don't know how to end this video because there is no conclusive point. I don't have a conclusion to this story.
I realized I didn't make any clear points, so I'm just gonna pretend that it's because there's so much to say. Tana Mongeau, you can be redeemed from this. There's several mistakes in this video, several faults in logic. You can apologize, you can own up to this, and you can let it be behind you. Or you can turn into Keemstar.
Oh, fucking righteous
Fucking nigger.
Choose wisely.